What would you think if I told you that astrobiologists were interested in the water? What about the fact that there are far more than just shipwrecks in the Great Lakes? Or maybe you'd be more interested in what exactly NOAA brings to a community when they bring a sanctuary into the picture. Well, there's so much more that NOAA brings to the table other than just protecting shipwrecks and taking your tax dollars, as some people would argue. We're going to prove what else is out there and what else NOAA does.
Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary, NOAA, has a lot of information about shipwrecks, and without NOAA, we wouldn't have been able to discover as many wrecks. NOAA has discovered 78 shipwrecks and has done the best they can do to keep those shipwrecks safe. For example, there are buoys in the water that have been better maintained to help keep the wrecks protected, and more have been put in to let people know that there is a shipwreck nearby. The National Marine Sanctuary has given us so much information on types of shipwrecks, such as how they looked, what they carried, and what different materials they used to make the shipwrecks before they wrecked. One of the shipwrecks that NOAA has helped keep safe was the Northwestern shipwreck. NOAA helped keep it safe because people were dropping anchors and different things on accident when they were trying to hold their boat. I think that Wisconsin should have a national marine sanctuary because then they could have more knowledge about shipwrecks and different stuff underwater.
Sinkholes are unique in their own way. Researchers have discovered a series of sinkholes while trying to discover more shipwrecks. The sinkholes are very interesting because of the different world inside of them. This is not seen in many other places around the world.
Underwater explorations have revealed unique places of biogeochemical activity at several submerged groundwater vents in Lake Huron, one of which is the Middle Island sinkhole. Since groundwater emerging from these sinkholes contains high sulfate and low dissolved oxygen, they have created a unique habitat lacking the usual fish and communities found in Lake Huron.
There are so many aquatic animals deep in the sinkholes. The water was proven to have 10 times higher levels of salt in the sinkholes, as well as being slightly colder and foggier. Many of the microorganisms found inside the sinkholes have a potential to create drugs for the future years.
The sinkholes aren't the only thing that have been discovered since we've had our sanctuary here in Alpena. In our lake, there is a land bridge called the Alpena Amberley Ridge. A prehistoric caribou hunting camp was found deep under the waters on this land bridge. When this hunting camp was actually functional, the water levels would have had to have been much lower than they are now. On the bottom of this now covered land bridge, there lie lines of rocks. Caribou seem to act as if they have OCD when it comes to things that are in a linear pattern, so they keep their heads down and follow the lines in front of them while migrating south. This takes them right into the hunter's trap. At the end of the lines, hunters have set up small rock blinds, similar to deer blinds almost, that are meant to hide themselves from the large reindeer. It doesn't take much to hide them when the creatures are focused on the lines. But why is a simple line of rocks, and what seems to be like a pile of them, under the water so important to historians? Well, this provides an excellent lens into what life may have been like for prehistoric humans living in our area. Because the site is almost in perfect condition, thanks to being a cold, freshwater environment, we can take a look at how we have evolved over time. Although we hope to discover much more to learn about what life could have been like, without our sanctuary here, would we have found the Alpena Amberley Ridge hunting site?
Having a sanctuary allows so many different opportunities, from snorkeling, diving, boat tours, to visiting sinkholes, lighthouses, and mysterious underwater treasures. During the summer, NOAA and the sanctuary put on an ROV class to get kids involved and interested, allowing them to explore shipwrecks in the sanctuary. They also put on a cardboard boat race across the Thunder Bay River. Discovered shipwrecks have a buoy attached to the wreck to let fishermen, divers, and snorkelers know it's there. If that's not possible for you to do, take a trip on Lady Michigan. a glass-bottom boat that takes you on a tour up close to shipwrecks in the shores of Thunder Bay.
Ways that the Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary have brought in more money would be they have a glass-bottom boat for the tourists that want to see underwater shipwrecks without having to go diving. But they don't just make money off of the tourists, but they also make money off of people that live in the same area as the NOAA. Divers in the area will most likely pay to go diving to look and get close-up pictures of the shipwrecks. The NOAA also makes money by making advertisements that can be bought in other stores to catch other people's attention.
Now, many people may still have various concerns related to having a marine sanctuary. This is entirely understandable, but yet the most common worries have been fueled by false information. This makes sense, of course, given how the media tends to play a game of telephone when it comes to issues. It's easy to get your information distorted. The concerns themselves, despite not posing issues in the long run, are very important to address. Things like, will my property rights be changed? NOAA is going to restrict my recreational fun on the waters, or a sanctuary will leave our community in more poverty than it had been before. While these are clearly things to worry about, NOAA has addressed many of the main problems in a letter to Wisconsin's old governor. Wisconsin will maintain all of its authorities for the water within the sanctuary. NOAA will not go out of the state laws already in place. No property rights will be changed, and people are free to join a public board to talk about any problems that may arise as they arise.
When researchers come to your local waters, they are bound to discover other things than shipwrecks. Researchers came to Alpena's Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary and found sinkholes in the lake that had very interesting microorganisms inside of them. The researchers discovered an organism in Alpena's National Marine Sanctuary deep in the sinkholes that was only found in other continents before. There are even other things to find that are from World War II, like aircrafts in the water. When researching teams go on your waters, they may do a sonar scan of the bottom showing everything down there. As planes flew over the Great Lakes during previous wars, some may have crashed down into the water. One of the things that was found was a plane from World War II. This comes to show that there are many undiscovered things around the world underwater. Also, there is a possibility that researchers could find objects or organisms in your potential national marine sanctuary.